We're stepping into the stories of the women who built reggae and dancehall, the icons, the innovators, the troublemakers, the mothers of the movement, Jamaica to Canada, foundation to right now. And listen, when women touch reggae, the whole thing shifts. The sound sweetens, the music sharpens, the energy gets a little more dangerous. So pour something nice, settle in, and let's talk about the women who shaped the culture and the women still pushing it forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, Massive and crew all across the world, introducing Angie Goodaz, the hostess with the mustache, big and serious podcast creator, yeah, creator and producer, big energy, big heart, big true, when it's selector. Good evening, my people. This one is a special dedication to a woman with grace, vision and soul. Angie Goodaz. When Angie speak, the whole room listens. Heart so pure, yeah, the truth she giving, big and serious, loving every session. Healing words, real conversation. Lovers rock, sweet vibration. Podcast flow, pure elevation. From the mic to your heart, no hesitation. Angie Goodaz bring love to the nation. Big and serious, where love gets serious, where truth feel glorious. So turn it up, lean back, feel the emotion. This one you're certified devotion. Angie Goodaz, keep the love in motion. Big and serious, both us, straight from the heart, straight from the heart, straight from the heart, straight from the heart. Oh,
Family, welcome back to the Big and Serious podcast. Music, conversation, and a little trouble every time. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Angie Goodaz, and tonight we're talking about women who carry weight, not just groceries and deadlines. I mean the emotional weight, the cultural weight, the if I don't do it, it won't get done weight. Tonight's show is grown, it's honest, and it's coming straight from the chest. We've got a serious ting to set the tone, and that's speaking directly to the women who've been holding everything together. And the big feature that dives into the stories and spirit and legacy of four women behind the music. Later on, I'm sitting down with tonight's guest, Miss Diva, a woman whose voice, journey, and sweetness fit this conversation like a glove. And of course, we're closing the night with the vinyl ritual. Why wouldn't you want to stay for that? 13 tracks of feminine fire. Actually, 15 tracks. We made it bigger. Lovers rock, softness, roots woman strength, and a little trouble to carry you through the week. So settle in, and I hope you have something nice. And let's hold a space for the truth, the tenderness, and the women who make the world spin, even when nobody notices. And man, you know what? You're going to love this. So let's begin. But before I get into the serious ting, I want to take a moment to shout out Roots Rock Reggae Radio Show. They're on 90.3 CKUT out of Montreal at 1 o'clock in the morning on Mondays, and they go all the way up to 4 o'clock. Shout out to Singing P, Selector Madman, Calendar Man, Cassette Man, and of course, Brother Cliff in the building. The good as well, I haven't been doing information for the nation lately, I'll be honest, but you know what? I might just make an appearance this week. I do want to shout out Mr. the one and only Mr. Wheelie Don Productions himself for my sexy Casamigos rhythm. And of course, the Big and Serious podcast rhythm. Rhythm. It's a rhythm, of course. Logo that you see on the screen, that's from Wheelie Down Productions. And of course, I got to shout out Calvin. I can't not shout out Calvin from A4G for visuals for my new Angie Goodaz logo. So I dance between the two logos because I do, we like familiarity anyway. So I do use the older logo as well. So let's get into the serious thing. Let me talk to you tonight about something we don't say loud enough. All right, we don't say this loud enough. Women have been carrying reggae on their backs since before the genre even had a name. And I'm not just talking about the singers. I'm talking about the women behind the scenes, the women in the shadows, the women who were doing the work while the men were doing the interviews. You see, when we talk about reggae history, we love to list the greats, the bands, the producers, the sound men, the legends. You've done it. I've done it a lot. But if you peel back the curtain, you'll find a woman holding the whole thing together. Women were the harmony. Women were the management. Women were the strategy. Women were the emotional labor. Women were the backbone. And the funniest part, we were doing all of that. Well, they were doing all of that while being told that they're just the supporting cast. And it happens today in just regular life as well. Let me tell you something. Reggae would have mashed up a long time if women didn't step in and steady the ship. The invisible work, but make it grown woman truth. Women in reggae have always had to be the calm in the chaos. The ones who made sure the band reached the airport. The ones who handed the promoter who handled the promoter who suddenly lost the deposit. Why am I have the money? I know it there. Yeah, really. The ones who kept the books, kept the peace, kept the vision, kept the culture. And they did it while raising children, working day jobs, and still finding time to harmonize on the track. Like what? You ever notice how many reggae men talk about mama in their lyrics? Mama. Like, thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carried me through. Mama, like so many tunes. It's because deep down, they know that the women were the foundation. But here's the twist. Women weren't just supporting the music. Women were shaping it. The harmonies you love, women. The stage presence you remember, women. The discipline that kept certain artists from self-destructing, even certain artists that you wouldn't expect from self-destructing, women. Uh-oh, what happened to my Casamigos? Hold on, let's do this again. And the industry still had the nerve to act like the women were lucky to be there. That's wild. The women who ran the business, let's talk about the women who weren't on the mic, the ones who were running the show. People love to talk about Shabba Ranks and Patra. Icons, legends, no question. But do you know who was behind them? Babsy. Babsy was a manager who held down the two of the biggest dancehall artists in their era, of their era. She was the strategist, the negotiator, the one who made sure the business was handled. And let me tell you, managing artists in that era, that was not for the faint of heart. Babsy was out there negotiating egos, labels, promoters, international markets, and doing it all with a level of sharpness and professionalism that men twice her size couldn't match. She was just managing careers. She wasn't just managing careers. She was shaping the global face of dancehall. And how often do we say her name? Like, how often do you hear the name Babsy? Oh, wait. Yeah, not enough. Women like Babsy were the blueprint for the modern music manager, long before the industry wanted to admit it. Women in reggae have always had to work twice as hard to get half the credit. A man could show up late, not prepared, vibes off, lyrics half written, and people would still call him a genius. A woman, she had to be flawless, vocals tight, outfit clean, attitude balanced, confident, but not too much. She had to be just enough. And even then, somebody would still ask, so who write the song for you? The disrespect is diabolical. But here's the part I love. Women kept going anyway. They kept singing, they kept writing, they kept producing, they kept managing, they kept showing up. And every time the industry tried to shrink them, they expanded. So I see someone in the chat. Let's see, Wagwan. Likkle in, Wagwan, big up yourself. You sent me something. All right, I will take a look at it in a bit. And you know what? While we're vibing here, before I continue on, let me see if I can find out why my Casamigo stopped. Yeah, don't do it again, all right? Don't do it till I tell you. So, pick up yourself, like a win. And you know what? While I pause, let me run over and grab TikTok and Instagram and let them into the building because, there's certain ting that they don't like. So, I have to let them in later on. So, shout out to everyone who's tuned in and thank you for spending your time with me. Let's continue on. So, let's take a look at Canada. A whole other battlefield. Jamaican women came here with nothing but a suitcase, a dream, and a voice. No big labels, no massive studios, no infrastructure. And still, they built a scene. Women like Amoy, with her spiritual sweetness and global reach. Women like Tasha T, with her foundation energy and consistency. These women were out here recording in basements, performing in community centers, doing their own PR, styling themselves, managing themselves, and still delivering music that could stand beside anything coming out of Kingston. Canadian reggae women didn't just participate in the culture, they preserved it, they protected it, they carried it forward when the industry wasn't checking for them. So tonight, I want to say this clearly with my whole chest. Women didn't just contribute to reggae, women built reggae. And if that ruffles feathers, I'd that for reach you. Because the truth is the truth. Whether people are ready for it or not, women were the harmony, the management, the backbone, the strategy, the sweetness, the fire, the discipline, the innovation, the emotional labor, the cultural memory. Do you need me to go on? I can keep going. And we did it, or they did it, while raising families, working jobs, and still finding time to show up for the music that they loved, that we all love. So tonight, we're giving flowers. We're calling the names. We're telling the truth. And we're doing it with a little grown women mischief, because some of these stories, well, the culture wasn't ready then. And some people are still not ready now. I'm going to see where my guest is. What time is it? Let's see, where's my guest? All right. Well, I was going to get into my, you know what? Actually, what we're going to do is we'll get into the big feature then, and then we'll bring on my guest when my guest gets here. So, let's talk about Rita Marley. So we're going to get into the big feature. Actually, no, before I do that, I'm going to run a tune. I'm going to run a tune and find out where my guest is, if you don't mind. I'm going to play a woman in reggae, a woman in Canadian reggae, a Canadian woman in reggae, who she's been on the show before and she'll be back again. So this is, oh wait. Maybe I should turn off my Casamigos. Yes, yes, I'm gonna find out where my guest is. It's all good. We're gonna run some tunes in the meantime. So, all right. This is Can't Get Enough by Tanya P. Ooh, the tech, the tech. You know how it is. You know how it is when you try to do something live, right? All the things, all the things. Let me line up myself nice and proper. 'Cause, sometimes we get a little bit disoriented and thing, but we have to make it work. Oh, hold on. Where is it? So sorry, audience. Give me a second here. Let me sort this out. There we go. All right, let's try this again. All right. So this is Can't Get Enough by Tanya P. I'm going to go find out where my guest is. I'll be right back.
All the
All right. So we are in, a little prelude to the big conversation. So, oh, what's going on? All right. Let's keep it boogaloo. Let's keep going. Sister Nancy in the building. 1, 2. Let's go. All right. I see my guest in the green room. So you know what? You ready? You give me a thumbs up if you're good. All right. So, Sister Nancy, enough respect to you. I think what we should do is, before we bring my guest on stage, let's run the title track from her album. And I will say, we are due for another album. So, when is the next album coming out? I'm going to run Number One Girl. This is by Miss Diva. A diva this, yeah? So tonight we've been talking about women in music, the foundation, the people who just they carry the weight of the genre. And they've been carrying the music, they've been carrying the business, the culture and the chaos all at the same time. And they've been the harmony and the discipline, the softness and the steel, the strategy and the spirit. And the beautiful part is this. Every generation of women finds a new way to hold the music. That's the beauty of it. It's always evolving. A new way to push it forward, a new way to make space where there wasn't any before. And tonight, we're sitting with one of those women. A woman. Oh, she just left. Where'd she go? Okay, she's sorting it out. So tonight we're sitting with one of these women, a woman who came into this industry with her own fire, her own voice, her own boldness, and refused to shrink it for anybody. And I do mean that personally. I know that she refused to shrink for anybody. She's a she's a Canadian. She's she's got the whole, she's got the Canadian. Listen, when you say United Nations, that's Miss Diva, okay? Because she's got Trinidad, Canada, Jamaica, and wrapped up in a ball of boldness. And she's refused to shrink. So Miss Diva's in the building, and I'm rambling, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on. Miss Diva. Oh, what happened? Wait a second. What's going on here? Here we go. Hello.
Hi.
How are
Hi.
you?
I'm okay. I was wondering. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Is the sound
Welcome.
and everything okay?
Is this what?
Is the sound and everything okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
Oh,
I gotta
okay.
tell you, it's been a very long time. No shade or disrespect to any of my other artists, but it's a very long time since I've had an artist who sounds that clear and crispy. So this is great. You sound amazing. You sound
Yeah,
amazing. So,
I was wondering because I was sitting when I started the interview. I was like, "What are we appealing at the box door?" So I went moving in rooms, and I was like, "So when you just brought me on, I was like, oh, okay, me a little color now. All right, we're good to
oh,
go.
so you're running. Must
Yeah,
mean
me a move.
I get it because you have to make sure you're okay. I appreciate that. I
Yeah,
appreciate. Yeah, because you
yeah,
have to
because
make.
I was like, hold on. I miss a peel, winter down a wagwan. What's up?
I need to sort it out. I'm looking forward to this conversation because I know it's going to be honest and funny and sharp and full of
Mhm.
grown women mischief that you and I always get into mischief, but we get to bring that to the audience. And so, audience, I would like to say welcome to the big conversation. So, Miss Diva, you've been here before, so welcome back to the building, of course.
Thank
um,
you.
and you can always come back whenever you want to. That's never a problem. um, Before we get into, and I will ask you questions about what you're doing, what you've been up to, and all of that, but I want to take you on a journey first
Hmm.
about how you started in the music. But I don't want your actual story, so I've got specific questions I'm
Hmm.
going to ask you,
Hmm.
and then we'll vibe it out. So when we look at the foundation and the fire, because you brought fire from day one. When did
Hmm.
you realize that your voice wasn't just good, it was powerful?
Powerful. I think what gave me the confidence for me was to switch over into soca. Powerful. I think switching over into soca, and the only reason I would say that is because it's a different tone, right? It's a
Mhm.
different tone because if you stick in one genre, sorry, then it's like I'm used to this, you know. I'm used to my reggae, so it's okay. You know what I mean? But I
Mhm.
think powerful because I think powerful means to me that give me jazz, give me country. I think that's
Yeah.
powerful because I mean, music is music, right? And
Mhm.
I did an interview in Trinidad 2 years ago, and he told me, he said, this DJ's Jamaican people don't get on me for saying that, but he said that this is the foundation of where a type of music starts. You understand? So
Mhm.
for me, that means if I could do reggae, if I could do hip hop, if I could do jazz, then I'm capable of doing any genre of music because music are music, right? Because they say when you it's let me get the saying right. When you feel music, you feel no pain.
Ah,
For
when the
me,
music hits, you feel no
when
pain.
the music
Yes.
hits you, you feel no pain. So for me, I think reaching audience other than reggae is very important for me. Yeah,
Yes.
that's very important. So if your voice is powerful in reggae, more your voice powerful in jazz, hip hop, country. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's very important because I don't want to only reach people that listen to reggae music. You
You
understand what
want to
I'm
reach.
saying?
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
So, who are the women? So, since we were talking genres, I was going to tie it to reggae, but we can go. Let's cross genres since you did. Um, who are the women that shaped your early imagination of singing? And give me. You know what? If you can, I'm going to challenge you. Give me one from each genre. Give me like three.
Okay, so hip hop, hip hop Fantasia, um,
Mhm.
reggae Etana, soca Destra. That's a hard one. That's a hard one because I wanted to switch. I wanted to actually switch my reggae one though. I wanted to switch my reggae one. I wanted to
Give me,
switch my reggae one, but I can't now.
no,
I
but you
feel
could
like I
give me one.
can't. I can't.
We'll shout out. We're
I'm not gonna switch it.
not going to do it. Okay, we're going to allow it.
Yeah. No,
So,
I can't.
So when did you learn from, or what did you learn from watching icons like Destra, Fantasia? If we bring it into reggae, Rita Marley, Judah Mowat, Marcia Griffiths, Lady Saw.
Yeah.
You learn from these
So
ladies.
exactly. So I wanted to say Marcia Griffith, right? And
Mhm.
then the reason I said Itana because when I had no singles, I was singing Itana.
I get it.
Put me on the stage down the street, Itana. In my
Mhm.
uncle's basement, Itana. Him a dub the same song over and over, and his one thing. First of all, Uncle Peter, which is my uncle, big up my Uncle Peter.
Big up
Um,
there.
Pickney. That's how I got him. Pickney. Him don't call me Elisa. Him don't call me Alicia. Pickney. I'm 37. Pickney. And he said the same song. So I was doing Itana over and over and over. Pandaban, Itana. So that's very important for me to actually know that at one point I did not have my own music and I could do covers, but covers that actually spoke to women, spoke to
Mhm.
people, spoke to
Mhm.
sick people, and
Mhm.
that's very important. That's very, very important. Fantasia, when Fantasia just came out, I think it was something more about her being her story too, right? Because I think
Mhm.
at the time she was American Idol, and
Mhm.
her story, they kept running her story over and over. I remember when she came out on American Idol, her story being a single mother, growing up in church. I
Mhm.
think that's what it was for me because my first genre kind of mixed with reggae was in the hip hop area where it was Jay-Z, Beyonce,
Mhm.
Little Kim. I was about to say Little Kim,
Little Kim.
um, Little
Shout
Kim,
out
but
to Kim.
Little Kim, Puff
Yeah.
Daddy, and
Mhm.
I think it's very important that at the time in high school, talking about that genre, I was doing Monica. The Boy Is Mine was one of my first songs that I sang on the stage. No song.
Mhm.
Sorry, The Boy Is Mine.
Mhm.
Soca. Destra for me hit me hard because of the fact that um I think her single, what she had back in the day when she was with her first band, I was very small at the time. I come from I come from Jamaican descent, but I also grew up in the Trinidadian culture.
Mhm.
So I remember when she just started, she switched bands, right? And she started doing her own music. So that for me means that she's also growing. So I like Destra a lot.
Yeah.
I like Destra.
That's right.
So those are the three singles. But I do have an older voice. So this is where the Marcia Griffiths and all of those names are really like I was listening to them a lot because that's what my mom was playing on CKUT.
I get it. And even your mom,
Yeah.
having she's also a foundational woman in music in reggae.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
100%. Her story is amazing too. I might have to do a big feature on her. Um, her story is amazing as well, and that should be, shouted out as well to
Mhm.
the world. So what does Miss Diva mean to you today?
Um, wow. Wow. Miss Diva today.
She's like,
Oh wow.
Angie.
Oh
Like
boy.
Angie.
Um, yeah, I don't know because I don't know because I guess you know me as a person. I mean, you used to manage me, so you know me as a person. But Miss Diva today means a woman that is not giving up. I think that's what it means. And I think I say that because of the fact that I've had many doors closed in my face, like shut close, but then I've had a lot more open.
Yeah.
Um
I'm gonna give you a
last summer was yeah, last summer was just a testament. You know what I mean? Last summer was just a testament. Um I think for me, Miss Diva, like today itself, means a woman that is actually standing up for herself, gonna keep pushing through. With every door that is gonna close, I know that Father God is going to open about 20
yeah.
more. Hundred
Bigger, better
percent.
doors.
Yeah,
100.
exactly. Exactly, for sure.
I'm gonna ask you, what is actually, first of all, I know where it comes from. I know, but I'm gonna ask you for the audience, where does your boldness come from? Where does your perseverance, like you said, I know that if God closes one door,
Mhm.
20 more are gonna open. Where does that come from?
I think that comes from my Christian upbringing because I first started singing in church with a Brian Church of God.
Mhm.
I wasn't in the choir at my mom's church, but I was singing in the choir at O'Brien, and I was just like, just give me the mic, girl. Give me the mic, girl.
Give it
Give me the mic.
practice.
I remember, yeah, Sister Sonia, who's still there, O'Brien Church of God today. The she's still there, and I went back a couple times after that. Sister Sonia is still there, still teaching in the choir. And I mean, it was on the band now. Maybe that's why like, you gonna book me? You have a band? But I'm not gonna plan the festival I want. Talk to my manager,
Always,
straight.
that's
Yeah,
always
so
is
maybe I think that's one of the reasons why, especially when it comes to festivals, I'm like, you have a band? I wanna get a band. But it was very important to me when I was singing in church that the guitar, the drums, the bass, everything. And yeah, definitely. Definitely.
plus, not to take us off track, but there's something about a live band and that music, and I've
Yeah.
watched you I've
Yeah.
watched you on stage do tracks, I've watched you on stage do a band, and
Mhm.
it's just there's a level of energy with a band that not matched, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the tracks. I'm just
Yeah.
saying the energy from the band is huge, right?
For sure.
Biggest misconception about women in reggae, and biggest misconception about Miss Diva. What are your thoughts?
Biggest, biggest conception woman in reggae. I think that women in reggae today, we probably get misunderstood
Understood.
and
Mhm.
misunderstood. Did I say it right? Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so because of the fact that I think women in reggae, we're supposed to look a certain way. We're supposed to talk a certain way. We're supposed to dress a certain way. And if we do dress with a little tight up pants or a little skirt, or if we put on a lace front wig, it's a little bit different from back in the day. So,
Mhm.
and then we're kind of put in a little box with there's certain music that you could sing about, and there's certain things that you're not supposed to say, right? Because at the end of the day, some women in reggae, it's like the full their rasta, their culture, and certain stuff. So if you're in reggae, you have to maybe look a certain way, dress
And
a
you have to.
certain way, talk a
Mhm.
certain way, do music a certain way, put out
Mhm.
singles and put out music videos a certain way. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So that is what I would say. And the second question was
Misconception about Miss Diva.
misconception would mean something.
So,
Let's
like,
just
what do you think you're misunderstood with when it comes
misunderstood
to,
with.
yeah, the audience or the reggae? Is there anything you could be like? Nothing. I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, Do you ever feel like people misunderstand you in certain things, or what's your thoughts?
Misunderstood. Well, well, I,
Was it-
well, I think, honestly, I would think it's maybe a little bit of my boldness, though. I think a
Mhm.
little bit of my boldness, I think that could be misunderstood. But I think that comes from being that women today, on a whole, we just have to be strong. So maybe my boldness may touch somebody the wrong way, or I'm in a conversation and they'll be like, well, why are you speaking like with this tone, or why are you no, I'm not speaking like this with an attitude. I'm just letting you know that I beg you
Yeah.
to for call my manager. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I beg you to for call my manager, start to talk to my manager, and when my
That
manager tell you the price, then you can call me. I don't know why
yeah.
you call me 6, 7 o'clock, or 8 o'clock in the morning. You understand what I'm saying? And we
Yeah.
as women, and I will tell you now, especially when it comes to getting booked, people will do these things. You know what I mean? There's a certain level of respect that I need as an entertainer. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Yes.
maybe that's a misunderstood because it's
Yes.
happening even a lot now that, people will call and me tell if I call my manager for what is it? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
And they
that's happening a lot. That's happening a lot. But I think that's what it is probably um just knowing where to draw the line, especially with females, you know what I mean? And what to say, especially as a man, what to say, I think is very important too. Very
yeah.
important. To me, well, I mean, to me, very important. Very,
Yeah.
very important.
Because I found like when I managed you, I know sometimes you'd be like, I got a phone call from a promoter at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be like, turn off your phone. Why are they calling you? At this time, right? Because it's like, where's the respect? Um,
I'm just
and
I'm just scooting
on the
over.
flip side,
Yeah.
yeah, and then on the flip side, being a woman in the industry, the
Hmm.
men, some of you men need to behave yourselves on certain
Hmm.
levels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I would say, because being in the industry right now, it's like this for me. If you have a toot tot and a toot tot, I remember Uncle Stretch. Big up Uncle Stretch. Late happy
Big up.
birthday, Uncle Stretch. I'm gonna stream your show for Uncle Stretch.
Mhm.
Um, I think I don't think he said to me. He said to me, "Why do you want to join this dog race?" That's what he said to me. Why do you want to join this dog race? That's what he said. And I was like,
Wow.
'cause I want to sing. That's it. I want to join this race with singers because I want to sing. I want to entertain. And I
Yeah.
mean, as a little girl, Uncle Stretch was there emceeing with my mom. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Cultural shows, festivals, art shows, BTW,
Mhm.
Black Theater Workshop. That's actually a Black owned company for years. Watching people like CB, he's passed on, which is my godfather. He was
Mhm.
actually a Black educator in Montreal, working at Dawson, I believe. I believe it's Dawson.
Mhm.
Working in the community with kids trying to get scholarships. I got one myself
Mhm.
for cosmetology. So
Mhm.
to me, it's like if I don't put my foot down as a female, then you will get pushed around. I don't
Yeah.
want to say that if you think you're going to join this game and it's going to be like, you come in all hee hee hee, hee, it's
Yeah.
fine. And I think that's how I came into the game, and that's okay too. But when you really get your foot in at the game, you say, hold on, wait a minute,
Yeah.
pull
What's
up,
going on?
hold on,
Hold on a
pull
second.
up the
Wait a
track.
minute. Yeah. I get.
Exactly, exactly.
So with your experience, I mean, the amount of places that Miss Diva has been to, people, is insane. Panama,
Mm.
Trinidad, um, Jamaica, um, press releases in Trinidad, press releases in Jamaica. What
Mhm,
And then of course Canada, right? Toronto to
mhm,
Montreal to Edmonton to Calgary, all over the place. So
mhm.
what is unique about being a reggae woman in Canada versus the rest of the world that you've traveled to?
I think being in Canada for me is that I am actually getting to actually do reggae music and at the same time actually be in Canada, but not
Mhm.
be in Jamaica and still represent my roots that my mother and father has taught me. I think that is so cool. I think that
Okay.
is so cool.
I
I think
love that.
that's so cool because do remember, it's not all Canadian singers that have even been to Jamaica though.
True. That is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
And you'd
There's
be
not even,
surprised.
so
Yeah.
you're literally um. I just keep touching my hair. Sorry, because when I use some of that hair, when I used to the little bob, the bob is bobbing.
It's
Yeah, when I
Bobby.
used to
I was
not
like,
natural bob.
so cute. I was
Yeah,
like,
so
cute.
I'm bobbing it out. So I think being in Canada and I could do something for the culture, I think that's very positive. I think that's very positive. And at the same token, I think you're also representing your roots and Jamaican descent. My grandmother, fully Jamaican. My grandmother on my dad's side, fully Jamaican. Um, she brought all her children to church in Jamaica. And growing up in Burgundy, yes, I'm a Burgundy girl downtown. That's what we say in Montreal. Big up
Mhm.
Burgundy, Little Burgundy downtown. That's what
Like,
everybody calls it.
mhm.
Um, Going to church every Sunday from 9 until 4 o'clock. That's tradition.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's going back to bringing my dad to church in Jamaica. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
from Yalas in Jamaica, St. Thomas, and that's tradition. So for
Mhm.
me, going to church and getting to sing on the band, you know what I mean? I would say that's tradition as well. Because
Mhm.
my aunt was a singer. She grew up singing in Jamaica. She was
Wow.
singing in O'Brien Church of God. She was
Wow.
bringing out CDs. You know what I
See,
mean?
see, there's a
Yeah.
family see going on.
Yeah, so my aunt was a singer at O'Brien Church of God, and then watching my mom on the radio, doing all of these things and being a part of the culture as a Canadian woman. Grandma's
Mhm.
from St. Mary, so that as a little girl I know St. Mary. I'm not Tabia, so
Yeah.
I mean that's huge. That's huge to me because I am following in my grandmother's footsteps, following in Mommy P, Don Mama. She has so many names. Miss Dylan's footstep. That's very important, and to do
Mhm.
it well is very important to me, right? I
Mhm.
think it's huge to be in Canada and to be representing the culture. I
Yeah.
have been to Jamaica before, but I will say this, if I may, I never see Kingston until I was 18 when I won Dancehall Queen. As a little girl, if we come a town, when we come a town, my uncle I pick we up and a straight a country we got. So
Yes.
a straight
There's
a country. So
yeah.
yeah, so when we reach a Kingston and see the bright lights, me I said, no, sir. Why? Yeah. So as a little girl, it was literally like we were in St. Mary's all the time. So
Mhm.
when me come to Kingston when I was 18 for Pasa Weddy, I was like, whoa.
What is this? Yeah. Kingston
Exactly.
whole other ball game. I think I'm pretty similar to you.
Exactly.
I didn't see Kingston until 18. And that was we went to
Exactly.
this park, but that's a whole other story. So,
Yeah.
what is your woman in reggae in Canada? What's the hardest thing about building a reggae career outside of
Mhm.
Jamaica?
Well, I want to say now it's very easy though. I think
Mhm.
back then, if this was like 2000, 2002,
Mhm.
2003, it would be a little bit harder. But now with social media, no, sir. You can't bust off of the internet. You're not for leave your yard. You understand? You're not for leave your yard. You're not for leave your
That's
yard for bus. You
that's
understand
so
what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like a ease up on the little chair a little bit. Yeah, you don't have to but can't
Mhm.
boss. You see, I'm gonna sit down right to start talk to you. I could get
Mhm.
up tomorrow morning and be a millionaire on TikTok.
That's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying? So
So
I don't think it's a big deal to say
anyway.
you have to work that much harder in Canada. I do believe that you have to work harder because of the fact that what they would say and what most producers say is that you have to come a yard for bus abroad. Did I say it right?
You have
Did
to
I say it right?
dance a yard for
Exactly.
bust it. Yeah.
Exactly. Most producers will say that, but that's not the case now. That's not the
Yeah.
case. And I've seen it in a lot of females' career. Hold on. Carrie Ann Sang, is she Canadian? No, Carrie Ann Sang is Jamaican. Carrie Ann Sang is Jamaican, but now she's living in Canada at the moment, and she's still, yeah, she's still doing reggae. Who
Mm-hmm.
else? Who else is from? I'm trying to think of somebody. Amoy.
Amoy.
Amoy is from Canada. She was doing very
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um at at is it, would you call it festival? Pre-festival party, me, Amoy, a couple other ladies in Canada performed
Mm-hmm.
for Donovan
Mm-hmm.
Germain from VP. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get it right. VP, a couple of record companies from Jamaica, but I know Donovan Jermaine was
Mm-hmm.
there as well, right? So I performed for him and I sang for him when I was 27. So all of the producers look at Canadian talent. So for me, I mean, if you're leaving Jamaica to come and look at Canadian talent, and most were women, I think that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was put
That's
on.
huge.
Yeah, that was put on by Denise Jones. Rest her soul, Auntie Denise. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she also did a festival. But for her to have these producers to come to Toronto to see us perform, I think that's a big deal because I didn't have to get
That's huge.
on a plane to do an audition for them in Jamaica. They were brought to the
Yeah.
showcase
They had to
and then to come see us perform. I didn't perform at the festival, but I got a huge chance to perform for Donovan Jermaine. And that means a lot to me because of the fact
yeah,
that
that's
my aunt actually sang for Donovan Jermaine, and that's how she got signed. And she was singing
wow.
for Buju for as the
Mm-hmm.
backup singer, and she was signed. And she was
Mm-hmm.
signed before she used to sing with Buju with Penthouse.
Mm.
So
Which is amazing.
that's
And
huge.
that's it's a good thing you said that because later on in the show we talk about these women who have aligned themselves with these men that have done really amazing things, and people then don't talk
Mhm.
about the fact that they had careers before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for example, your aunt had a whole career before
Yeah,
she sang
so
with Buju, right?
I was under the impression, and this is like maybe like 4 weeks ago. This was like maybe 4 weeks
Hmm.
ago. I asked a question, and mommy's like, "Excuse you, darling, Bojo." You understand? She's like, she left.
Yeah.
Actually, no, she gave me the story when I went to go and get my Christmas gift. Miss still a little dog, a little baby. Sorry, I went to get my Christmas gift, and she gave me the whole rundown. She went to sing for the audition, and that's how she got signed, right? So I think that's
Nice.
a huge
I love
deal. And for me, that lets me know that people do just fall into the right hands, of who they're
yeah,
supposed to fall into at the time. And Father God had their destiny, his destiny for everybody. You know what I mean?
everybody.
So I think that was very important for me to know if I'm going to just speak
Hmm.
about my aunt, which she's a huge inspiration to me because
Yeah.
as a little girl, I used to see her rehearse for shows, Whirl a Girl in New York City.
Hmm.
And up to today, they just started back Whirl a Girl. This is after almost 15, 20 years. So,
That's
and
amazing. Is
I
she
got it.
involved?
Sorry?
Is she involved with it, or she's
Yes. So Whirl a Girl was a group that she was in, I believe after Buju. I don't want to get it wrong, but she was with the group
hmm.
and they decided after 20 years to come back. They're from New York. And
Okay.
they have toured I'm talking about Europe everywhere. So for
Hmm.
me, it's like you're singing with a group that used to sing 20 years ago, and that's
Hmm.
amazing. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
to the point where she said, "Put Alicia up on the phone." You know what I mean? That's with before Miss Diva, my government name Alicia, and I spoke to her, so she knows me as a little girl, and she's still doing her thing.
Mhm.
So I think that's very important to have a craft and you love your craft at the same token too.
And to do it. And and it's
Yeah,
surprising that she's rejoining with those girls and doing their thing. So that
exactly.
to ask, what's a moment where you've surprised yourself?
I think with soca, with soca, yeah,
Yeah, it was
with soca, with
splits in the
soca,
building. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I
You
think
just
so.
you almost just got carried away there.
Listen, I love splits.
Sorry.
I love Splits. I'm not gonna lie. I love Splits. And people, if you don't know who Splits is, I'm just gonna say you need Miss Diva perform soca. That's all.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna leave you alone
Oh
with it.
my
I'm not
god.
gonna trouble you with it. I'm gonna leave you alone. But you need to see her perform.
Can I give like a little story? Little story, quick and fast. Can
Yeah,
I?
yeah, go ahead.
A customer came to do his hair at my salon,
Mhm,
and he had to come back the next day
mhm,
to actually finish his service because he had to go and pick up a gift.
mhm,
And I said, okay, I'll open for you on Sunday to come do your hair. And when he came back, he said, you're a singer, like you told me.
mhm.
He said, what up, dancehall queen? And I just turned at him. I laughed. I just laughed. And I said, but I mean, you have social media. And I said, who did you call? Who did you ask? And
Actually,
he's
was it
like,
you?
I listened. Yeah. He said he listened to some of the music and stuff. So I guess he pulled up like an old picture or something like
Mhm.
that. And I don't think he got an old picture, but he said, you're talented,
I
eh? My sister.
I
I just had to laugh.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That was funny.
Uh,
That was funny.
Um, no,
Yeah.
that's huge, and it feels good to be like recognized and stuff like that, and even managing you. I remember when you would say like, Angie, I went to a store and they were like, "Hey, it's Miss Diva here," and I was just so shocked, right? So it's beautiful that you're getting the flowers and you're getting the recognition, just in
Yeah.
life, right? It's huge.
Yeah.
What
For sure.
what do you want your legacy to be? 10 years, 20
I
years from
think,
now, let's say 20, 30 years from now, what do you want your legacy to be like?
amen. I think it's to just put your trust in our Father God and believe that anything in our life you can do. I think that's what it is for me. 20, 30 years from now, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years,
Hmm.
that is what it is for me.
Love it.
Because I had some struggles like every entertainer in the business, any singer in the business. And when you look at your journey, where you start and then where you are now, and just somebody pinch me. You understand what I deal with?
Uh,
Because when I started with In the Roots Records, I remember at the time Lady G was on board as well,
Shout out Lady G.
But
Oh, that's a
then,
name we don't talk about.
yeah, shout out Lady G.
Hmm.
Yeah, so G was on board, and at the time I was actually doing Lady G's hair,
Hmm.
right? And I never had out a single at the time. But when she came back about a year or two later, I had my first single, and she's like, hold on, I the same little diva girl, this the hairdresser.
Diva
That's
girl.
what she said.
Yeah.
The diva girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from doing, because when I had my hair salon, I've been doing hair since I was like 14, but professionally 18. When I was doing hair, I was always trying to be involved in like the shows and stuff that was going on. So if any entertainer used to pass through, they used to pass through my store.
Mm. And get a. I
So
love that.
exactly.
I love.
So when shout out Brian Codler, that's my first
Shout
manager.
out Brian.
Brian Codler, big up yourself. Bobby Pottinger, big up yourself. Um, when I was doing Lady G's hair, I used to be like, I could sing and stuff, but I never performed or like tried to do a song. Cause somebody sit down in your chair like Lady G, you're gonna start bust a tune, sin
Yeah.
abada, nagada go with I didn't do that. I didn't do
Yeah.
that. But somebody would think to do that. But to know that you look back and Lady G is like, we see you everywhere. Like we have a good relationship. Lady big up Lady G. She was in town last
Hmm.
year, and yeah, she called me when I had my son.
Hmm.
I was like, G, but it don't can't make it ever Ursa because I got to breastfeed, girl. Times have changed, okay? Times
That's
have
true.
changed. I got to breastfeed. Yeah, so it's like that's beautiful because I think the show before that we had her, I didn't have my son yet. Big up Dream. And another thing too is that when I got pregnant with my son Dream, I thought my career was over because I was like, oh, like what am I gonna do now? I have amazing single with Glenn Washington. How am I gonna promote this?
Hmm.
I have a single with Maca Diamond. How am I gonna promote this?
Hmm.
That never stopped me. That never stopped me.
You did your.
I was at CVM with my belly big. I take the minibus come from Ochi, gonna go Kingston to do my interview. You understand?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Put in the work.
I remember one of the taxis. Yeah, I remember one of the taxi drivers. He's like, Miss, do you have to look so upset? I'm like, just drive a car. Just drive a car.
Just
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 drive.
let.
Yeah. And when I was in Jamaica the other day, I realized that the same people that was on my team I when I first started really going to Jamaica, because
Hmm.
Flex has been on my team for the last 5 to 6 years.
Shout
Michael's
out
been
to
on my team.
and
Michael's been
Michael.
on my team for the
Hmm.
last 7 years, right?
I
So
was gonna
when I
say it's
had
been.
the yeah, so when I had the interview with Ron Bouchette, big up Ron Bouchette. Some
Mhm.
people say it's Ron Bouchette, but I say Ron Bouchette. Big up yourself, Ron. Love him to pieces. When I had that interview, I actually said to him, I said, the same people from day one is actually here. And I said, you know what? That means a lot to me because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, me know some of them on my journey. You know what I
that's full.
mean?
Yeah, that's
So
a full moment.
yeah, because it said like in music that if you get pregnant, I mean, in the middle of your career or the middle of a song, like, what are you gonna do? Because I mean, to perform pregnant and all these things, you
Yeah.
would think that, it can't be done.
Hmm. But it
Faye
can.
Lyons, Bungie Garland's wife, one
Hmm.
soca monarch with a
Yeah.
belly. And she delivered her baby the week after or a couple days after.
So she
Okay?
was very pregnant.
So she was
Yeah.
very pregnant. So this stigma that we have, like if you have a child, your career is over. I don't
Hmm.
I don't think that's true because I work 10 times harder since I have dream. You know,
Hmm.
honestly, I do. And he's also a musician as well too. And I turned to him the other day and I said, "That's your gift that you have to read music without being able to be taught." Because I was like, "Come on, how you could do pan, boy? I can't do pan." He's like, "Give
Uh,
me back the sticks, mom. Give me back the sticks." I'm like, "Give me a try."
that's
I
amazing.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, to beat, because it's one thing to play the drums, but then to beat pan, you know what it is to beat pan in Trinidad without
Yeah.
no direction.
That's huge.
Him play, she is going to start lessons very soon. I
Hmm.
was like, how is sing a full song without having directions?
Yeah. You just
That's amazing.
that's a
Yeah,
gift. That's a huge
yeah, that's a
gift.
good. That's what
Little
I
bad
that's what I
friend.
told him.
Yeah, that's a huge gift. So definitely,
Yeah,
mom, make sure he does that.
yeah.
Um, you know, I'm gonna ask you before I let you go because I know you told me I have a certain amount of time. So
You have
what's
a
one
10 minutes. You have a 10 minutes. You have a ten
I got in 10
minutes.
minutes? All right.
You have a 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Bring it
Eight minutes?
down. Yeah.
What's a boundary that you're enforcing this year?
A boundary.
That you're like, this is it. This is my boundary. Don't cross the line. Um, what's one of those boundaries that you're like, this is what we're doing this year. This is it. Like, don't cross the line. Do you have any?
I don't know if maybe they're gonna come. I think for me, I think for me, the boundary, what boundary in music or in general? In music?
In general, I mean, in anything,
General.
in anything.
I no, and I will say in music, this is very stern for me right now. Respect me as an entertainer, please.
Yeah.
Respect me as an entertainer and respect me as a female entertainer at that. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to say that I am working on a brand new EP. Shout out to Turbulence.
Love
And
it.
yeah, I have to plug in my thing,
Oh, I was
Turbulence
getting
live in
there, but
Montreal.
you're beating me to it because I was getting there.
I have to plug, after
Shout out to
plug.
Terrence. Yes,
Yeah, so I am working.
we're gonna play Ready for Love later on in the show.
Yeah, I am working with Turbulence at the moment, and working with him is amazing. We're already done a couple of singles. We had Ready for Love last year, and
Hmm.
that was amazing just working with his engineer. And I believe that it was Easter time, and to be with him in the studio, that's like, oocha, oocha. But it's like Turbulence is this type of person. You come here for work.
Here to
You
get the
understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it's amazing to see him in the studio and to create music in 5 minutes and to create music in 20 minutes. And
Oh
then
wow.
after that, I got to be in the booth. So, I mean, he came into the studio at 1 o'clock and by 1:20, that whole song is recorded. And boy, if me no know them lyrics, boy, me no know.
Hmm.
First of all, I always hungry. So that's my excuse when the lyrics ain't coming.
I'm
Lyrics are
hungry.
back when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a 5 minutes. The diva go back in the boot. Like honestly, the amount of time I'm laughing during these studio sessions, but I have to tell you, if you think that you're gonna play with this someone in the studio, a joke you are make, you understand? This is
Mhm,
no joke. This is his bread, his butter, it's
mhm,
everything. And I think that comes from just being a professional musician, you know what I mean? And
mhm.
I've learned so much from him. I've learned so much from Fusion. I've
Mhm.
learned so much from the other people that are in his camp. You know what I mean? To see how serious they take the music. Because I
Yeah.
would record, um, their other artists would record, Turbulent Sun will record, and they
Mhm.
take this so serious. I'm saying again, again, and again could mean that you're there on one line for 35 minutes to 45 minutes. I said one line.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
And you're the second person to tell me that. Shout out to
yeah.
Mac. I interviewed Macaru, and he said, in the studio, turbulence is very serious. Like this,
Yeah,
you
so
really,
shout out to Makaru. He's
mhm,
also on my show, but I mean as in like I could say one line that I was on for a good while, but when I listened back the track, it was perfect.
yeah,
Let's get ready to work and fight. Just to fight. It's too long. Cut it short. Work and fight. And if we even stop it, I go work and fight. If you ever do that again, okay.
but again,
So
yeah,
that for me, like doing that in Jamaica, I was like, first of all, you're sweating at the boots. You know what I mean? Even if there's AC, you're still hot.
yeah,
So it's just a respect for the culture and respect for the music for
mhm,
me.
love that.
And I think that's a big deal for me to actually be around musicians that take this serious and that are pushing me to create music and to believe in myself and say, Diva, you could do this, girl. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I'm having a lot more respect for the music. I had respect before, but to see how much passion these people put in this
mhm,
music, it's amazing. It is amazing. And I think that is beautiful. And seeing it on the internet and seeing it on YouTube is a different feeling, may I tell you, Jaja Rastafari. You
yeah,
understand what I'm saying? And I think
yeah,
it's a beautiful thing to grow in the music. Also in Trinidad as well, too, right?
mhm,
Because I started working on my EP 2 years ago. And to know that I could complete a project and to get different opportunities. I mean, I started working with John FX, who's a Billboard producer on the
mhm,
remix of Meet Me on the Road. So,
mhm,
Meet Me on the Road, there's Bacchanal, alcohol and pretty gal. Angie Goodaz, having a time. Meet me on the road, good as in the place. Yes, she mashing up, she ways. And everybody, Angie, show me yours, baby. She dirty, baby.
I
Yeah,
need you just walked into I need a dub plate off of that now, so you
yeah.
just let me know
So
when I get
I
it.
mean, honestly, I just bust that out. But to know that you had a single and then to jump on that with John FX, who has worked with Egyptian, the name goes on, Billboard, Grammy nominated in less than 2 months for him to be on a track, talk to that producer, let him give you advice on the phone for an hour and say, Diva, let me tell you something. Just move with it. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mhm,
I think now it's a blessing to just know that you have to grow in the music. I also have a label now, Miss Diva
mhm,
Music. You know what I
love it,
mean? I will drop it here first. I also have a soca rhythm coming for 2027 for
love
the
it.
soca season of 2027.
Mhm.
Um international artists will be on the rhythm, some
Rhythm.
from Canada, some from abroad, some from Europe. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? So I'm growing in the music. I'm also producing and I'm writing and I am working on an EP with Turbulence, but I am also, yeah, I'm growing on the music.
oh,
I'm growing, definitely.
I love it.
Definitely.
I love it.
Oh, let
So
me turn promoter code. Sorry, turn promoter.
yeah, well, yeah, it's all a part of it. You are, and that's a good
Yeah.
segue. Tell us about the Ready for Love Festival.
Yeah, so the Ready for Love Festival um is actually a show that I was working on from last year.
Mhm.
And I go say it, we was working on from last
We were
year.
working on it from last
We were
year.
working on from last year. and it don't matter, and she's still the bout. She's still the bout, you know what I mean? And so
She's still in the
she's still the bout.
yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to even you because yeah, I'm gonna say it. A lot of the things last year, if Angela got you and go to bed 10 o'clock in the morning, yeah, things not work.
things are
Things don't work.
things are
So at the
yeah.
end of the day, I have to give you your flowers too. This is something that I don't. I'm gonna be honest. If you never did about certain things, wouldn't be happening now. That's just
Oh,
what it is. You know what I mean?
thank you
So
for that.
I mean, this is our show, but this is your show now. You understand what I'm saying? So I just appreciate to have your directions to say y'all gonna do this and this is gonna happening. So it never happened last year, but it's happening. July 25th, Turbulence live in Montreal. Woo! The artist lineup: Macaru, Zantelli, Serenity, Officer Surprise Guest,
Mhm,
Ebony Royal, Asher. I don't want to
mhm,
miss nobody. Ready for Love. I
mhm.
will be there. Miss Diva herself. I'll be performing it. I'll be performing the single live with Turbulence. You guys can get you guys tickets. Tickets will be online as of Monday. Shout out to the sponsors: One Stop Restaurant, Frontline Restaurant, Bigger TS. I'm gonna
Mhm.
put up all of the sponsors because I really don't want to forget anybody. Storm will be in the building, passing through, doing she soca thing. She
Big
was
up
upstairs
store.
tonight. Kamani was holding the lights. Storm was Nadia batsing it out. It's a vibe. So I just want to say shout out to Turbulence. Congrats to Turbulence. Stuck on You. 1 million views. That's
Oh,
huge.
nice.
So um definitely all the old singles, him and Sasha have a great single.
Mhm,
Um that's actually one of his singles that a lot of people know him for, with him and Sasha.
mhm.
So I actually walked into a gas station and the song with him and Sasha's playing. So that song I would have to say is one of his hot singles.
Mhm.
So yeah,
And you
so
can
Ready for
get
Love
Notorious as
Festival.
well.
Yeah, Notorious. And
Yes.
Notorious. The one thing though, you not gonna forget your gangster music, you look a
I
gangster.
love listen, I
Your
I was
gangster
like
music.
the pretty girl who was gangsta, who loved all the gangster
Yeah,
music, you know?
Notorious. Cause when that the song play, I could have been. When that song play, it's something else.
Oh, yeah.
So Turbulence live in Montreal, Zantelli, the whole crew, Serenity. Tickets are on sale. Can clock in my number 514-588-8669. Go on my Instagram, Facebook, Shadigi as well are gonna have tickets as well. And I believe actually from yesterday they do have tickets. So tickets are out. You guys could check out also Donna Makeda's page from Toronto. She will be in the building.
I
So
love
it's gonna be a great show. And everybody knows that Jamaica Day start 1 o'clock. Jamaica Day finish when it finish, lose you by 8:30. Wanna go home, go beard, freshen up,
that
and
food.
you guys come for 9:30. nine
Yes.
thirty, 9:45. The
Yeah.
band go roll off 10:30. You know what I mean? Big up Uprising Band, Baron and the whole crew, Jeremy. So it's live reggae music. July
Mhm.
25th.
Love it.
Angie Goodaz, me a rent the podcast lady for a night of management, and then sure I figure back down to Toronto. So you don't know so Angie Goodaz in the building. Me a rent our
Building,
manager skills for one night.
tearing up to run
Yeah,
around, running
yeah,
comfortable clothes around. Yep.
yeah.
I'll be
So she's gonna be there for one night. The next morning, she double back her podcast settings, you understand? So yeah, I mean it's a family vibe when you come to me when it comes to the people around me, because I think that everybody that around my career has been there for a while. You know what I mean?
mm,
Brian
mm,
Codler, that's my son's godson. Godson. Yeah,
Father.
right. I said it right. Yeah.
No,
The Godfather.
your son is
Godfather,
God.
yeah. Godfather, yeah. And I think that's very important because at the time when I did get pregnant, he was like, huh? But to see Brian with Kamani now, just taking pictures, he wants to hold the camera. That's amazing.
I love that.
So big up
That.
to Brian Codler. Brian, we have to love you. Brian,
Yeah.
even if Brian I fall asleep with the camera, he said something so touching to me a couple years ago at my show, and he said, I wanted to go home. I was so tired, but I just had to see you sing, Diva. I said,
Uh,
Brian, you should have went home. And these are the people that look out for me, look out for my son, and I would say look out for Montreal artists on the whole, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's very. I'm sorry, Angie. I'm sorry, but I was born in Montreal, and yes, I could say it here. I grew up in Toronto to a point, more inside. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, my
No, it's
dad is my dad is from Toronto, and
mhm.
in the midst of getting into the scene, I was like, Toronto's a bigger city that I could actually get my music out there. So
Mhm.
I actually got some shows downtown on Friday nights, on Saturdays night, where I would sing um, at clubs, at hip hop clubs, you know. So this is definitely a stepping stone. Like, I just want anybody to know, if you want to get into music, just go ahead, but keep God first. To tell you the honest truth, you know what I mean?
100%,
Because
%.
Father God will put you where you're supposed to be. And listen, some singers would be like, them not gonna tell them story, but me take the metro come from, what do you call it? Is it we call it metro? What do you guys call it?
What, the
TTC?
Megabus? Oh,
No,
the
TTC.
TTC? Oh, the
But take the
subway.
TTC, come from Brampton for reach downtown to my performance. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, your nose have to run. You understand?
Yeah.
To make it where you want to be, your nose have to run. I just wanted to get my album out there. You know, Maka was on it, Glenn Washington was out there. I just wanted to sing to make sure that I could get my music out there. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna do what I need to do to get my music heard, podcasts, and all of those stuff. You know what I mean?
100%. And you know what? Actually, you were talking before I let you go, one more question. You were talking about where they can find your tickets and stuff, but you didn't tell the people that
Yeah.
how to find you on social media. So how do we
M
find you on social media?
T L MISSDIVA. So that's MTLMISSDIVA. And my dates for my performances are all up. And my
Mhm.
next performance is with Cass and Nika Berry. Pack the party bag. I love her. So I mean, that's my next show in Orlando.
Mhm.
May 23rd. May
Yeah.
23rd. I will be in Orlando. I'll be at the Ska Reggae Festival in Victoria. Yeah, Victoria. Yeah,
Mhm.
Victoria in June. So
Mhm.
that's gonna be cool. On the Friday night, we're gonna have something called Dubwise and Dancehall,
Mhm.
and that's gonna be like, I think that's really cool. You know, Sky Star will be there. You know, big up Caleb Hart. Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
That's a big vibe.
And then don't forget the other one, August.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't forget. I was seeing if you go asking questions. So I am actually one of the promoters. I'm one of the promoters on the Edmonton Reggae Festival.
Mhm.
And Miss Diva Music is a part of the Edmonton Reggae Fest Society. So I will be performing, and I am one of the people that is actually helped putting this together. And I think that's good, because here's why. As an entertainer, right? If you could see a festival grow just by saying, "Hey, let's
Some
let's
people.
expand a little bit more." You know what I mean? I think that's huge, because what people have to understand is that these festivals need to grow,
Yeah.
especially in a place like Edmonton. Because when I got there the first time, you remember Angie?
Oh, yeah.
God damn. Yeah. Angie,
Woo!
listen. Gonna
A
come back
time
on this show.
was
I'm gonna
had.
come back. I'm gonna come back. If it was up to Angie, we would have reached down at the beach in Edmonton. Okay, I went back to the hotel room. You're like, you still want to sleep? Yeah, Angie, but tired from the night before. Let's
Yeah.
go back to bed. If it was up to Angie, we would have walked down the
We're gonna
wall of Edmonton. Walk.
let's explore.
Okay,
Let's explore. Let's see what's
let's
there. And you're
explore.
like, no, we're going back to the hotel. And I'm like, oh, what a diva.
We're going back to the hotel. And I think I'm gonna say that's my favorite part about traveling. Because if we did follow you, we would have reached. I don't honestly, I know we would be safe, but we never know where we did
Yeah,
not
we were just
go.
walking.
That was the whole
We were
thing.
just walking. We were not getting into
We're just
we were
walking.
just walking. And we were just like, we're gonna walk.
We were just
Yeah.
walking.
And we're not gonna talk to anybody. So people will be like, hi, and we just keep walking. And we're not saying not talking to nobody. Just
Angie,
walking.
like, let's just say it real. We're two beautiful black women looking up at the signs, looking who's walking and who's coming where.
Yeah.
So of course, Of course we wouldn't get into no trouble.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Like who's that? Purses were like, remember, the
Exactly.
purses were between us, so nobody had the purse
Exactly.
outside. The purse was in between us, and we were linking up.
I think that's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. Like how you would want to explore a city. I think that's my favorite part with going to like a city. Like with Panama, I think in Panama it's only because if you're gonna say hi, they would be like "Dika, dika,
Yeah.
dika, 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 dika," like you don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
But if it's somewhere that I could speak their language, I think that's my favorite thing is going to sing in a different city and getting to meet new people. And I meet beautiful
Yeah.
people. I meet beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah.
talented people. I just want to say shout out to my people them over Flair Airlines. Okay, I met fans on the plane. I got on at Jamaica. That was cool. And you have artists come in. You get your bag already. It's
Love.
like it's very nice. It's very nice. It's very beautiful. And I just want to say, you guys look out for this new EP that's coming.
Hmm.
Um, yes, Turbulence is on board. Mama P is directing and saying left, right, center,
Of course,
that way. Still,
of course, she.
Of course. Of course she is. You have
Right?
Storm, and you have Storm that she could be on this album. I would say she will probably have something on this album, but let's just see because I know it's something that she has wanted to do for a very long time.
Mm,
So I will say first, Storm will be on my album. You know what I mean? I think that's a
that's
blessing.
amazing.
I think that's a blessing because Storm has her own musical catalog. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
sing for you, and then she sang a whole bunch of songs, and I was like, "Girl, what?"
yeah, and the one thing with Storm, Storm can't play a music because she started out as a DJ.
Yeah.
Storm started out as a DJ on my mom's show.
Yeah.
So Storm is playing Marcia Griffiths.
Hmm.
When she goes into her dancehall segment, me I talk about being a man, Mr. Vegas, and then when she touched the soca, that's her thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, musical family over
Love it.
here.
Yeah. But that's, I
Yeah.
love that. And you're all doing, important things in the music. So it's amazing. I want to shout out Bree, who's dancing, laughing, and throwing up flames in the chat. So
Yeah, shout out Bree.
Bree.
I'm gonna Bree's coming to the show. She has a VIP pass waiting for her. She'll be having her lobster. Oh, I don't know if she eats lobster, but I hope
I eat
so.
love.
But yeah, she can have exactly. She can have her tickets for her drinks and everything. She'll be treated royalty. We have to roll out the VIP carpet, yeah. So roll out the VIP carpet for Bree.
Okay.
So that would be pretty cool to meet your daughter. That would be really, really cool. So shout out Bree in the back that she's a diva. Always hiding in the back. Where you hiding for your pretty girl? Well, you're pretty. Always
And she's
hiding.
like, "Yeah,
Yeah. So
inside, it's okay."
yeah. So one thing, I'm gonna go, I have my
Yes.
duties. So I want to say thank you for having me.
Yes.
I want everybody to do come out July 25th. Do go on my social media platforms. Big up, big up my manager. Today has been a day for itself.
Yes.
It took me a lot to come on here, but I just want you to know that it's one interview that I could not miss.
Thank
I just want to say rest in peace to my aunt. Today has been a very hard day for me. You would never know.
you.
You would never know
You
that
put me
today has
together really.
been
I thought,
a very
like,
hard day.
girl might not be able to do this, but you
Yeah,
again,
today has been
amazing.
yeah, today has been a very hard day. I just want to say rest in peace to my aunt. It feels very surreal to say
Yeah.
that, but it's somebody that was very close to me, and she just used to pick up the phone and say, "Miss Diva, I'm listening. I'm watching on the TV,
Oh, it's that one?
and yeah, she
Oh,
just
tell me
it's like
about. Yeah.
she's always watching because of the fact that she lives in Jamaica. So I'd be like, Auntie, did you catch it on CVF? She said, Of course. And I just want to say, rest in peace. It was a hard day today, but I just wanted to come and be on your show because at the end of the day, I definitely love
I love you
you.
too.
Yeah, we're up on the tour bus anyway, so it no matter. Yeah.
She's trying to get me to come back outside. I don't know. I've been hiding inside. She's trying to get me to come back outside.
Yeah, but I just want you to know this is a show that I did not want to miss, and I didn't want to reschedule because I just felt like I was supposed to come. I was supposed to share what has been going on with Miss Diva, and I'm very grateful to do so. And the Almighty give me the strength and give me the power. And I just want to say thank you so much. I am so proud of
I'm
you,
proud of you.
big,
It's weird.
bad,
I was just
and serious. Yeah,
proud of you. That's crazy. I was just I'm
yeah.
really proud of you. Like you've
Yeah, so I just yes, I came on a little late because me did I try get the
oh, I mean, I
Bobby.
wonder if they have to come over, they come find you and put you on the camera.
No, me not fix up my little ear.
Bob looks great.
Yeah.
I
So
agree. I do want
I'm
to
just
say
gonna plug
braces.
one more thing.
Okay,
Can I plug one more
for
thing?
sure.
Yes, I just want to plug my hair salon. So
Yes.
my daytime job is Diva Salon. So I have been a cosmetology for the last 20 years. So social media is there. So I was fixing up my little do. You like
I
it? Oh, look.
It looks really good. I was like, okay.
Oh,
I
thank
love
you.
the bob.
Thank you.
I do want to say Bree says
Thank you.
thank you, and she also says her condolences. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
mm,
I appreciate it. And I definitely feel like I definitely feel like we're on the phone having a
I
conversation,
know
but then I have to remember,
you have to
yes,
remember. It's not,
we're not in touch.
you'll be like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Everybody that's out there, keep God first. If you call God Jah, but keep him close, because at the end of the day, him give me the power to do everything. Write music, produce music, perform music, and anything you want to do in a life. If it's knitting, restaurant, go down at the bank and see if they will give it a loan, yeah, because anything is possible. May I tell him?
Go down to the bank
Go
and
down at the
see if
bank.
they can get the loan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want you the loan. Go get the loan. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
God
Well,
bless
we
you.
will talk.
God bless you. And
Let's-
yeah, look out for new music coming.
Yes. People, it's exciting. That's all I'm going to say. Exciting.
Thank you.
Yes. Have a great day.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being here as usual.
Thank you.
You don't know you
Thank
can pass
you.
through anytime you're ready. So, Likkle more.
Thank you.
Bless
Blessings.
up. Yes, people, that was Miss Diva in the building. As we move, that was such an amazing conversation. Um, and what I love about having conversations like this is like when a woman sits in the chair, and again, I love men. Love a man, right? But when a woman sits in the chair and speaks from her whole chest about her whole history and her whole journey unapologetically, it reminds us of how layered this culture really is. Women in reggae aren't just performers, they're architects. And if you didn't get that from this conversation, I don't know what to tell you. And you know what? I'm going to run my Casamigo, so we're going to keep going. Um, you know, women women are innovators, and they are the ones who hold the music steady when everything around is shaking. You see, Miss Diva lost her aunt today. My condolences to her family, and she still came. She still showed up. She still laughed and joked and did her thing. Um, you know, Women are the ones that hold the music steady when everything around is shaking. All right. So every time I talk to a woman like Miss Diva, I'm reminded that this lineage is deep. It's deep. And even just hearing her talk about the music in her family, the lineage is deep. It stretches back to harmony singers, the managers, the strategists, the mothers, the rebels, the visionaries, the women who shaped the sound long before the industry was ready to acknowledge them. And they just started acknowledging the women. So, we're honoring two women, two of those women who were the industry wasn't ready to honor them. Two icons who represent two different energies, two different eras, two different ways of carrying the culture, but both of them essential. Like the yin and the yang. One gave us steadiness, spirit, and global vision. The other gave us the fire, the fearlessness, and the new definition of a woman in dancehall. Together, they tell the story of what it means to be a woman in reggae. Powerful, complex, and undeniable. People, this is the big feature. Let's talk about Rita Marley. Not the wife, not the widow, not the harmony singer, but the solo artist. Because Rita had a whole career that people love to skip over like it's a footnote. And we're not doing that tonight. We're not doing that. Before the world crowned her Queen Mother of Reggae, Rita was out here recording her own songs. Rita was touring, writing, arranging, and building a catalog that deserves respect. We're going to put some respect on it. So in the early years, the Soulettes, Studio One, the real work. Rita's solo journey didn't start after Bob. It started before him. Back in the 1960s, she was a part of the Soulettes, a girl group produced by Coxsone Dodd. And if you know Studio One history, you know that meant long hours, low pay, if you got paid. Because, we've had conversations about royalties. So low pay if you got paid. And a whole heap of foolishness. Just mad things going on in Studio One days. But Rita held her own. She was writing. She was arranging. She was learning the business. And she was recording songs like Let It Be Me and Friends and Lovers. Tracks that showed she wasn't just a harmony singer. She had lead vocal presence. And while the Wailers were blowing up, Rita was still recording her own material. Songs like One Draw. And listen, that song is a whole cultural moment. We're going to actually get into it in the Vinyl Ritual later on. A reggae song about smoking herb sung by a woman in the early 80s? What? The Jamaican Broadcasting Commission nearly fainted, but people loved it. One Draw became a global hit. And I remember as a child singing this song, not even knowing what I was singing about, but that's how much, this song was played even here in Canada. So you can imagine, it became a global hit. It was banned in some places. It was celebrated in other places. And still one of the funniest, most iconic Herb songs ever recorded. So you have to stick around for the Vinyl Ritual so you can hear it. And the best part is Rita, she sang it with that mischievous, I know something you don't know tone that only a grown woman can pull off. And then after Bob passed, people expected Rita to disappear quietly into the background. And instead, she went on world tours. She performed at massive festivals. She held the Marley name with dignity, but she also held her own name. She released albums like Who Feels It Knows It, Harambe, and We Must Carry On. And let me tell you, Rita on stage was a whole experience. She had this regal presence, this spiritual authority that it says, I've seen things and survived things energy. And she literally has. She wasn't trying to be a pop star. She was a messenger. And let me call some names. Harambe, a Pan-African anthem long before it was trendy. You see, now everybody wants to talk about it, but she was doing it long before people even cared about it. Good Morning Jah, a spiritual declaration that feels like a prayer set to a rhythm. Who Feels It Knows It, a title that became a Jamaican proverb. Play Play, a playful, feminine, rootsy track that showed Rita could be soft and strong at the same time. And, you can even hear it, if we talk about the I3s, you can even hear that on Could You Be Loved. Just listen to the I3s. You hear it there too. So these songs weren't side projects. They weren't side projects. They were Rita's voice, Rita's message, Rita's artistry. And the stories, I would have loved to be around for those stories. But the stories, Rita was the one who kept the Wailers fed when money was tight. She was the one who told promoters, no, you're not shorting the band today. Rita was the one who held rehearsals together when egos were flaring. And when Bob passed, Rita didn't just mourn, she built. She built the Bob Marley Foundation. She built schools. She built community programs. She built a global legacy that still feeds people today. And she did all of that while still recording, still performing, still being a mother, still being a leader. So tonight we're not honoring Rita as an accessory. Nah, she's not a necklace to be worn. We're honoring her as a solo artist, a cultural architect, a spiritual general, and a woman who carried reggae on her back. Rita Marley didn't just support the movement, she was the movement. Now, let me talk about the woman who didn't just enter dance hall. She kicked down the door, she walked in like she paid the rent, and she dared anybody to tell her otherwise. Who am I talking about? Lady Saw, the first woman in dancehall who said, I'm not here to be respectable. I'm here to be real. And the culture has never been the same since. Before she was Lady Saw, she was Marion Hall from St. Mary, a girl with a voice too big for the church choir and a personality too sharp for anybody to tame. She started performing in the 80s when dancehall was a man's world and not a polite one. Men could say anything on the mic. Women, they were expected to smile, harmonize, and behave. As she said, Saw said, not me. She stepped into the dance with lyrics that were raw, witty, clever, and unapologetically female. And the men didn't know what to do with her. When Saw dropped Stab Up the Meat, Jamaica nearly shut down. Churchwomen were writing letters to the Gleaner. Politicians were pretending they didn't know the lyrics, but they knew every line. And the funniest part is, women were in the dance acting scandalized, but still singing it with their whole chest. Saw wasn't just being slack, she was being honest. She was saying the things women whispered to each other but never said publicly. And honestly, it shook the culture. Then came Sycamore Tree. Listen. Big up to Keisha on the outside. Shout out to you. Listen, if you were in Jamaica in the 1990s, you remember the way that song took over the island. Women were vexed, men were nervous, and everybody was singing it. Saw had the whole country confessing their business on a rhythm. And the best part, she delivered it with that mischievous, I know something you don't know tone that only a grown woman can pull off. And then, I've got your man. I've got your man and you can't do anything about it. I know I sang that off key. That song caused some arguments, more arguments than the electricity bill. And if you've ever fought with an electric company, you know. Women were calling their men like, so who's she talking about? Who's she talking to? Men were sweating. And Saw, she was somewhere laughing because she knew exactly what she was doing. But here's the thing. Saw wasn't glorifying drama. She was telling the truth about relationships, jealousy, insecurity, and the messy parts of love that people pretend don't exist. She made women feel seen. And let's talk about the clashes. Saw clashed men like she was born for it. She outperformed them. She out-lyriced them. She outworked them. And she did it in heels with a beautiful outfit and makeup done, with a mic cord wrapped around her wrist like a weapon. And men would come on stage with bravado, and Saw would come on stage with skill. And you know, skill always won. Saw on stage was a production. She didn't just perform, she commanded. She had this way of talking to the crowd like she was your cousin, your therapist, and your worst influence all at once. She would whine, joke, tease, provoke, and then drop a lyric so sharp that the whole dance would scream. And trust me, I know, I was there. I was at one of her last performances here in Toronto, and yeah. She was theater. She was comedy. She was truth. She was chaos. She was brilliant. people love to talk about Sa's blackness, but they don't talk enough about her pen. Songs like Healing, Man is the Least, Give Me the Reason, Chat to Me Back. These weren't just hits, these were social commentary, wrapped in humor, wrapped in melody, wrapped in attitude. Sa was a storyteller, a comedian, a critical critic, a cultural critic, a woman who understood the psychology of relationships better than the therapists in Kingston. Every female dancehall artist today, from Spice to Shamsia to Jada Kingdom, is walking through a door that Lady Saw kicked off the hinges, and we have to give her her respect, and we have to give her her flowers for that. She made it possible for women to be bold, explicit, funny, sexual, spiritual, contradictory, powerful, and fully themselves. She didn't just break barriers, she blew them open. So tonight, we're not honoring Sa as a shock factor. We're honoring her as a lyricist, a performer, a storyteller, a cultural disruptor, and a woman who changed the rules. Lady Sa didn't just participate in dancehall, she redefined it. And then at the height of her career, she walked away from it and she became Minister Marion Hall. So we have to put respect on it. Right. So if we go into like the Canadian world now, what did I say earlier? 2 from Canada, 2 from Jamaica. So let's talk about Amoy, because this woman didn't just show up in Canada and start singing. She came with a mission, a sound, and a spirit that shifted the entire landscape of Canadian reggae. Amoy grew up in Jamaica surrounded by church music, spiritual music, and the kind of harmonies that raise the hair on your arms. She wasn't trained in a conservatory. She was trained in life, in spirit, in community, in the kind of singing that comes from the belly, not the throat. And that's big singing. That's why her voice has that floating ethereal quality. It's rooted in something deeper than technique. So when she came to Canada, she didn't come into a ready-made industry. She came into a scene where reggae artists were building everything from scratch. Their own studios, their own networks, their own shows, their own fan bases. And Amoy didn't just survive that environment, she thrived in it. Amoy's sound is a blend of roots reggae, lovers rock, soul, R&B, and a little mystic energy that feels like she's channeling something ancient. Songs like Journey, Light, Soul Rebel, and Don't Count Me Out show her range from spiritual to sensual to rebellious to reflective. Amoy is a 6-time Juno nominee, and every nomination came from a different chapter of her evolution. She didn't get nominated for the same sound over and over. She kept expanding, experimenting, refining. And let's be honest, Canada owes her a couple of trophies. Yeah, Canada owes her a couple of trophies. Amoy has worked with producers and musicians across reggae, soul, electronic, and roots. She's one of the few she's one of the few Canadian artists who can slide onto a roots rhythm, a lover's rock rhythm track, or a modern fusion beat and still sound like herself. Amoy is one of the women who made Canadian reggae look international. She carries Jamaica in her tone, Canada in her polish, and the diaspora in her message. She's an artist who made people outside Canada say, wait, Canada has reggae artists like that? Amoy is the mystic woman of Canadian reggae, the one who sings like she's healing you, even when she's singing about heartbreak. She's sweetness with a backbone. She's softness with strength. She's the bridge between Jamaica and Canada, and she deserves every flower. And now, let's talk about Tasha T, because this woman didn't just make music. She built a movement, a community, a foundation, and still supports youth today. Tasha T came up in an era where Canadian reggae was a full-on hustle. You had to find your own band, book your own shows, press your own CDs, and sell them out of your car, and still show up looking like a star. And Tasha T did all of that with grace, discipline, and a voice that could slice through any sound system. And she plays music too. Tasha T's catalog is full of songs that blend roots, message, and melody. Tracks like Hold Me, Fire in Me, Red, sorry, um, Red of Fire, New Day. These tracks weren't just hits, they were community staples. They played on community radio, at festivals, at backyard barbecues, at cultural events, anywhere Caribbean people gathered. Patsy is the artist who shows up early, knows her harmonies, knows her lighting cues, knows her business, and still has time to help the younger artists to fix their mic techniques. She's the artist who rehearses until the band is tight. She's the artist who reads her contracts. She's the artist who treats every show like it's a festival. And here's the part that people don't talk about enough. Tasha T founded the Tasha T Music and Education Foundation, an organization dedicated to supporting youth through music, literacy, and empowerment programs. And she didn't just build a career, she built a platform. She's gone into schools, community centers, youth programs, using her voice not just to entertain, but to uplift. Tasha T has mentored more artists than she'll ever admit. She's the woman who pulls a younger singer aside and says, "Fix your breath control," or "Don't let the promoter short you," or "Wear the heels you can walk in, not the ones you like." She's the quiet backbone of the Canadian reggae community. In Canada, if Canada had a proper reggae Hall of Fame, Tasha T would be in the first class. She kept the scene alive during the years when reggae wasn't trendy. She kept performing when the venues were small. She kept recording when the budgets were tight. She's the definition of foundation. So tonight, we honor 4 women who shaped the culture in 4 different ways. Rita Marley, the matriarch who held the movement together. Lady Saw, the rebel who forced the culture to expand. And Amoy, the mystic who carries reggae into the future. Tasha T, the foundation who built community and uplifted youth. 4 different energies, 4 different eras, 4 different ways of carrying music. And the truth is, reggae would not be reggae without women like these. They didn't just make songs, they made space, they made history, they made the culture what it is. And tonight, we give them their flowers with a little mischief, a little reverence, and a whole heap of respect. All right, we're going to take a breath together as my neighborhood starts to get a little bit loud. All right, family, take a breath, because this is the moment of the show where everything slows down. We're going to go a little bit longer. I'm going to actually turn off my Casamigos. This is the moment in the show where the lights get a little softer, the room gets a little warmer, and the energy shifts from conversation to ceremony. Welcome. Welcome to the Vinyl Ritual. Every week we come right here to this moment to reset, to ground, to remember who we are and where we are coming from. And tonight, after talking about the women who shaped reggae, the matriarchs, the rebels, the mystics, the foundation, this ritual feels even more sacred because women have always been the keepers of the music, the selectors of the mood, the ones who know exactly which song to play when your spirit needs lifting or when your heart needs a little trouble. So, wherever you are, in your kitchen, in your car, in your living room, I want you to imagine this with me. And before I get into it, let me just go over here. We're changing rooms, people. We're changing rooms. All right. Let me just get to the front of this. Oops. Here we go. All right. Um, the record comes out of the sleeve, and that soft paper whispers. You place it on the turntable, that gentle weight. You brush off the dust because music is memory, and memory deserves respect. And then the needle drops. That first crackle, that's the ancestors clearing their throat. That's the culture saying, all right, we're ready. The energy set the emotional tone. Tonight's final ritual is for the women who carried the music, the women who held the harmony, the household, the heartbreak, the hustle, the women who were the backbone of the band and the backbone of the family. These women who could bust a note, bust a wine, bust a prayer, and bust a man's ego all before breakfast. So this ritual, this one's for them and for you. So settle in, loosen your shoulders, unclench your jaw, put down whatever you're holding, unless it's a drink. You can keep that close. Let the music wash over you. Let the rhythm hold you. Let the bass remind you that your heartbeat has a twin. This is the part of the show where we don't rush, we don't explain, we don't justify, we just feel. And because tonight is all about the women who shaped the culture, what you're hearing in the background is Rita Marley Harambe. We're starting with a woman who carries that lineage with sweetness, strength, and spirit. So let's just let this first track of the vinyl ritual marinate for a bit. And now we're going to take it to a very different place. This is the second lady that we honored tonight during our big feature. This is Lady Saw, one of her cleaner tracks. Find a good man, Lady Saw. Let's go.
Above, I've heard that you're the miracle maker. Well, if a people ask to be millionaire, but one thing me ask for, watch this now, Father. Watch this. Oh Lord, please work a miracle for me to find a man of my own. Because dear Lord, I am tired of sleeping all alone. Dear God, I know that good man is very hard to find. But dear Lord, please find me someone who will come home at night. You not forget me no man, near me some mention. Just take me case, Lord, give me a good man, I am lonely. In need of someone, me not look no pretty. pretty boy or no bad man. All I'm searching for is a loving husband, but me can't do it alone. Lord, give me a hand. Oh Lord, please work a miracle for me to find a man of my own. Because dear Lord, I am tired of sleeping all alone. Dear God, I know that good man is very hard to find, but dear Lord, please find me someone who will come home at night. Come here at 23, still no have nobody for myself. So dear Lord, help me, me now run up and down, me know you not like it. Next thing me don't want no matey, me no want no general for rob me DJ money. No want no married man for wife, take no liberty, the have and have love affair. Start get to me, so release me now, make me live happy. Oh Lord, please work a miracle for me to find a man of my own. Because dear Lord, I am tired of sleeping all alone. Dear God, I know that good man is very hard to find, but dear Lord, please find me someone who will come home at night. I've been in this world long enough, last we settle down. Get me a man who will never give me bone, a man who will never kick or box me down, who will one up his daughter and also his son. Give me respect until you come, love me straight up until that.
All right. So now moving on to a woman whose voice feels like sunlight on your skin. Amoy sings like she's channeling something ancient. Spirit, memory, clarity, journey home is a reminder that healing is not a destination, it's a rhythm. Let this one wash over you.
Come take me. Come take me. Come take me far away. Come take me. Come take me. Come take me. Come take me home. Then why you know? Then why you know? Then why you know? Then why you know? Then why you? Then why you? Then why you know who you are? Come take me far away from this place down here. Take me out of this space filled with so much despair. I wanna free my mind. I wanna heal the soul. Been in pain for so long. It's time to take control and set my people free. Yeah, baby, you and me. It's time to come back home. Wake up and start to see. No more deceiving the masses. No more dependency on the powers that be. I am bondage free. Yeah, yeah. Let me take you on a journey. Yeah, yeah. Let me take you on a journey. Way out, yeah. Let me take you on a journey. Ah, yeah. Let me take you on a journey. Oh, oh. Then why you know? Then why you know? Then why you? Then why you? Then why you know who you are? Come take me far away, out of Babylon. Come take me out of distress, forward into Zion. I'm gonna change the world, discover all that I am. I'm meant for so much more, a divine plan. And them I try to keep we dumb, don't know why we know the I am. But look into your heart, light your fire and start. Unite body, mind and soul. Sacred union, heart, body, mind and soul. Integration, yeah, yeah. Let me take you on a journey. Yeah, yeah. Let me take you on a journey. Way out, yeah. Let me take you on a journey. Ah, yeah. Let me take you on a journey. Oh,
We're going to let this one ride for a minute. All right, so moving along, we're going to move on to a foundation woman, a quiet giant. Tasha T has been holding down Canadian reggae for decades with discipline, message, and melody. Put It On is that breath of fresh air you feel when you decide to try again. Let it lift you.
Wow, wow, ayaga yaga ya ya yeah. Wow, wow, ayaga yaga ya ya yeah. Wow, wow, ayaga yaga ya ya yeah. That's a tea. Hey, feel that spirit. Mm. Feel that spirit. Oh yeah, feel that spirit. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. Feel alright now. Do you feel alright? Feel alright now. Do you feel alright? Yeah, feel alright now. Lord, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Lord? 'Cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. 'Cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. 'Cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. Lord, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Lord? 'Cause I'm not boasting. No, no. I'm not boasting. No need to boast. No, I'm not boasting. I feel like toasting. Oh, I thank you, Lord, 'cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. 'Cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. 'Cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. Lord, I thank you. Oh, I thank you, Lord. Oh, hey, feel so nice, feel so good, just like I should. Happy days, happy times, what a peace of mind. And every day, every night, I praise the Most High. No more pain, no more crying again. 'Cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. 'Cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. 'Cause I'm gonna put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. Lord, I thank you. Oh, I thank you, Lord. Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Wow. All right. So now we're going to keep it moving. We are going to circle back to Rita Marley. This song, innovative song, out in the early 80s, a woman talking about weed. Let's get into it. I'm going to have to turn up my headphones for this one. You know what? We got to run it again. Do you mind if I vibe out for a minute? I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it ride, people. All right. So, as I said before, the I3s, um, I've said this on previous shows, but the I3s really, protected Bob. They helped carry Bob, but they were three women with their own careers before Bob came along. So, Rita Marley was one of the I3s. So was Marcia Griffiths. So now, as we step into more royalty, Marcia Griffiths, the queen of reggae, reminding us that sometimes you have to walk away from what no longer serves you. This is grown women liberation music. I'm talking stepping out of Babylon. Marcia Griffiths, let's go. Hey, Storm. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the building. All right. So, last but not least of the I3s, we have Judy Mowat. We have to talk about her too. So this song, again, these women had careers before Bob Marley. They had careers. So this song is called Black Woman. It's a prayer, a declaration, a hymn for every woman who has carried more than she ever said out loud. Judy Mowat sings this like she's singing straight through through your chest. Stand tall for this one, all right? This is Black Woman, Judy Mowat.
Black woman, black woman, like me, you've traveled long. You've trod one of life's roughest roads, and with the heaviest load. To be someone to belong, but you're nearing your mile and a half furlong. Don't give up now, just pray for strength now. For you, I dedicate my song. La 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 la. We are the state once in the plantation, lashes to a skin. On auction blocks we were chained and cold, band of merchandise. Commonly abused when warned we were refused and thrown in the garbage bin. But no need for that now. Free yourself of that now and help me sing my song. La 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 la. When you're fighting, stand up for the right thing, and not that which is wrong. I heard Rachel mourning for her children when Herod and Pharaoh took their little heads. But like Mary and like Joseph, the mother of Moses too, overcame man's evil devices. I dedicate my song for you. La,
All right. So as we leave the I3s, we say thank you, giving you your flowers for everything you've done in music, singularly and plurally as a group. Now we're gonna get into another great voice in reggae. Before the gospel era, Carlene Davis was a lover's rock queen with a voice that could melt concrete. Winnie Mandela, and I felt that it was very fitting after this song. Winnie Mandela is a tribute to women. Is a tribute to feminine assistance, a reminder that strength and softness can live in the same woman. This one is for every warrior woman listening.
there's a woman fighting for freedom down in Africa. In prison is her distinguished husband, Nelson Mandela. Her natural beauty's like the rising sun. In a matter of time, both will be gone. So rise
All right. So because we're grown, let's slip into a little lovers rock mischief. Stealing love is that sweet, sensual, don't judge me moment every woman has lived at least once. Carlene delivers it with elegance and a wink. This is Carlene Davis, Stealing Love.
You held me in your arms and made love to me. Yeah. You, my heart's desire. Your lips caress me. Your body possessed me. I'd keep you if I could. If time would stand still and leave us still this way, you know what? I'll be satisfied here with you. You set my mind on fire anytime you're near. My body and soul belong to you. Oh, don't ever say we're through. We're still love on the side. Still love on the side. You don't belong to me. I don't belong to you. Still we're together. If that's enough for you, it's enough for me. Your time is here, and you've got to leave and go home to your family and your woman. She'll be waiting there for you. Oh, Lord knows there's no explaining the love we share. It's just between us two. You can't stay away from me. I can't stay away from you. Honey, we belong. And right now, we're still love on the side. Still love on the side. You don't belong to me. I don't belong to you. Still we're together. If that's enough for you, it's enough for me.
All right. And just like that, we're going to shift into courage because Etana came into reggae with a voice full of conviction and a spirit full of fire. I am not afraid is a declaration, a reminder that fear can't hold you if purpose is calling.
See them coming after my soul, wanting to take control. Wanna give me laughs, wanna give me bling, wanna give me all the material things. I hear them talking about what the world has to offer. Girl, what you doing? Don't you see what they have done? Too bad when it mock us, just us and all of the prophets. But I'm not afraid. No, no, I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid. No, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One. They don't mind when you fall behind and can't pay your bills on time. Prostituting or standing in a them government line. No,
sentence for life. I can't see your youth them strive. No, they don't mind. But I'm not afraid. No, no, I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid. No, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One. Yeah. Don't be foolish. Oh no. Hey, thinking they don't know your name. I see them coming after my soul, wanting to take control. Wanna give me laughs, wanna give me bling, wanna give me all the material things. I hear them talking about what the world has to offer. Girl, what you doing? Don't you see what they have done to Bedouin and Marcus, Jesus and all of the prophets? But I'm not afraid. No, no, I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid. No, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One. They don't mind when you fall behind and can't be.
All right, so now let's move on to a little sweetness, a little nostalgia. Nadine Sutherland gave us one of the most joyful, flirty, innocent dancehall moments of the 90s. This is the part of the ritual where your shoulders start moving without permission. Let's go. Babyface Nadine Sutherland. I know some off pull it up, right? My off pull it up. Yes. And you know, people don't let this part play, so I'm going to let it play. I'm going to let it play. Listen to this. Ooh.
we know that what we feel is oh so true. You for me and I for you. There's nothing more that we can do.
I had to play that part. That's my favorite part of the song. All right. Now, let's talk some truth. All right. Let's talk truth. Before the slackness, before the headlines, Lady Saw was and still is one of the sharpest lyricists in dancehall. Manas Elise is a grown woman clarity with a side of comedy. Listen closely. She's preaching. You know what? Let me run it again. You need to hear the beginning, right? Whatever.
Whatever. I wonder where some gyal a study round here. See them argue over man where them a share. See don't a worry about when next gyal a wear and us say they need fi do them here. Do you hear? The kind of life me see them living round here. Sometimes it's sorry for this just where them a be. But hot gyal from your conscience clear. See now when your load make me hear. Man a the least of my problem. So me left idiot fi have them. Me too cute fi mix up and blend. So tell a girl she fi go with her argument. Me stress free cause me know in a excitement. Them give away free but no man no dey beside them. Some girl a hype on me, yes a man a hide them. Nah no pride girl, them no hot man no ride them. Cha. Me too rich fi argue with bitch. Me too nice fi in a cockfight. Me too hot and a that girl no like them. And everybody sitting me a while. That's right. When me go shopping, me no look on the price. For girl I struggle for 4 years, me get it in a one night. Overbook right, no one me hardly advise. No. Come on for me name, girl, me nice. Nice. I wonder where some girl a study round here. See them argue over man where them a share. See don't a worry about when next girl a wear. And us say they need fi do them here. Me dear, the kind of life me see them living round here. Sometimes it's sorry for this just where them a be. But hot girl from your conscience clear. See now when your load make me hear. Man a the least, me drive them like Jeep. Park them till me ready now, isn't that neat? Man a weep, cause me have them wicked smile. We are nowhere, me no idiot lily. Me have houses, cars and Cuban cigars. Me get date with lawyers and big movie stars. Me gynecologist want me an impar. Me say easy, now that you a take it too far. Man a the least. I wonder where some gyal a study round here. See them argue over man where them a share. See don't a worry about when next gyal a wear. And us say they need fi do them here. Do you hear? The kind of life me see them living round here. Sometimes it's sorry for this just where them a be. But hot gyal from your conscience clear. See now when your load make me hear. Me worry about the coming of God, not the coming of man. Worry how fi make myself one of the chosen one. Me no worry about gyal who a look me husband. Me worry over man, you're wrong. Excess baggage me no carry. So tell a gyal about me she not fi worry. If I meet fi take a man fi her name go mention that the day now go come gyal me sorry. Man a the least of me problem. So me left idiot fi have them. Me too cute fi mix up and blend. So tell a girl she fi go with her argument. Me stress free cause me no in a excitement. Them give away free and no man no dey beside them. Some girl a hype on me, yes a man a hide them. Nah no pride girl, them no hot man no ride them. Wow, oh, me too rich fi argue with bitch. Me too nice fi in a cockfight. Me too hot and a that girl no like them. And everybody sitting me a wife. Ring. When me go shopping, me no look on the price. Where girl a struggle for 4 years, me get it in a one night. Overbook right now, and me hardly advise. Come on for me name, girl, me nice. Come on,
All right.
I wonder where some gyal a study round here.
So the 90s was like an amazing time in music to me, in my opinion. And I'm going to say that with my whole chest. So as we continue with the storytelling masterclass, we have to get into Tanya Stephens. Tanya Stephens took a complicated latest release. If you thought I was going to let the night go without playing at least one of my Miss Diva dubs, you're crazy. So I'm going to play the shorter of the two. Let's go.
You don't know it's a girl Miss Diva right from out of Montreal, Canada. You don't know me, I represent for Angie Goodaz. Where we say big bad and serious every Thursday. When everybody log on. Miss Diva said that, right? Her diva this.
All right. So now we step into the heart of tonight's guest. Ready for Love is soft, intentional, grown, and honest. It's the kind of song you sing when you've done the healing and you're ready to receive. This is Miss Diva Sweetness, Ready for Love, and is featuring Turbulence. This is the song of the festival that she's having in July. Let's go.
You know something I forgot to tell you how I really feel. You know something I forgot to express how I really feel about you. Listen this now. Talk to me. Trying to figure out where we went wrong. I don't know where we went. Trying to pick up the pieces. Our love has never been so strong. My love for you is never. I only got one question to ask you. Is this love worth fighting for? Oh yeah, oh yeah. 'Cause I'm ready to walk through the door. Oh yeah. Is this love worth fighting for? 'Cause I'm ready to walk through the door. Oh yeah.
Actions speak louder than words. Loving all your edges and your curves. Step through my door, put no disturbance signs. Girl, you're so fine, and you are always on my mind. Diva, loving you is a privilege. Go and wake the town and tell the villages. We're looking so good together, check the images. Him can't take you away, no matter how still it is.
Love worth fighting for. Oh yeah, oh yeah. 'Cause I'm ready to walk through the door. Oh yeah. Is this love worth fighting for? 'Cause I'm ready to walk through the door. Oh yeah.
Talk to me, baby.
I spend lonely nights thinking about what we've been through. I wanna make love to you in my bed every night.
I'm doing you right, baby.
Is this love worth fighting for? Is this love worth fighting for?
Of course it's worth fighting for.
'Cause I'm ready to walk through that door. Yeah. Is this love worth fighting for?
Ready for love, ready for love.
'Cause I'm ready to walk through that door. Oh yeah. You know something I forgot really tell you how I feel though. I wanted to spend my life with you. I wanted you to be my everything. Well, guess what? Change our plans.
All right. And then, so before this track, Miss Diva actually had a Lovers Rock moment. Oops, what happened? Hold on. Shh. This song is a Lovers Rock moment with a legend. Glenn Washington's voice is warm like Sunday morning on this track, and Miss Diva meets him with grace and tenderness. This is the emotional center of the ritual, the place where love feels possible again. Let's start it again.
If you find your way to me, I will always love you endlessly.
If you find your way to me,
There is none to love you better than me. Just you wait and see, baby.
if you find your way to me, I will always love you
and see, baby.
Baby, everything you do around me is on my mind. Only time will tell and show how much you blow my mind. Even when the gray skies are blue, I know I can depend on you. I love you.
I love you. You've been in my focus, you are always on my mind. Such a brand new feeling, life has taken a new design. From inside this heart of mine, loving you will find me with you, baby. Oh, if you find your way to me, I will always love you endlessly. There is none to love you better than me. Just you wait and see, baby. Na-na-na-na-na.
If you find your way to me,
If you find your way to me,
if you find your way to me,
I will love you endlessly. Yeah, yeah. Ooh.
just you wait and see. I will never break your heart. I pray we'll never fall apart.
Oh, no, no,
Cause my
no.
love is everlasting, and I know you need me in your life. I swear, I know you care. Don't let me down, don't let me down.
Everything about you is just all I want to do. Love is all around me, taking me over body and soul. Come on, let the good times roll. Let me treat you, baby. Oh, no, no, no. If you find your way to me,
Find your way to me.
I will always love you endlessly.
If you find your way to me,
There is none to treat you better than me. Just you wait and see, baby.
All right. So we cannot, talk about half of Lady Saw's career. She actually walked away from dancehall at the height of her career as dancehall queen or the queen of the dancehall, and she gave her life to God, which is very commendable because you think about the money and the accolades and all of that she just walked away from. She was like, that's it. And people were like, she'll be back. She'll be back. It's been I don't know, I think it's been like 6-7 years now. It's been a very long time. She ain't coming back to dance hall, people. Get over it. So I felt that it was very necessary to run one of her songs as Minister Marion Hall. And I love this track. This track is Enemy. Let's go.
Psalm 68 verse 1 say, let God arise, let his enemies be scattered. Let them that hate him flee. Jezebel spirit, you can't stand up round here. You see the enemy there, oh from afar. See them a plan and them a scheme to start a war. But if them think say, if they are
scheme, they start a war. But if them think say me they are alone, Father God the angel encamp around me to protect them own. Me see the enemy there, go from afar. See them a plan and them a scheme to start a war. But if them think say me they are alone, Father God the angel encamp around me to protect them own. But if them think
You know what? I'm going to run it one more time for Mama Goodaz. This one's for you. I'm running it again for Mama Goodaz because I'm sure she's dancing. All right. As she patiently waited through the other music that I played. So big up yourself, Mama Goodaz, on the outside. All right, family. Let's let it run and then we're going to close out the show. All right.
see them a plan and them a scheme to start a war. But if them think say me they are alone, Father God the angel encamp around me to protect them own. So when me tell them say, well Lucifer, go down Lucifer, well Lucifer, run well Lucifer, well Lucifer, choke up Lucifer, can't touch God at 90, don't come in here. Hey, well Absalom, take away yourself, spirit of Jezebel, take away yourself, Satan followers, take away yourself. God want me know so, me see the enemy them, oh from afar. See them a plan and them a scheme, they start a war. But if them think say me they are alone, Father God the angel encamp around me to protect them own. So when me tell them say me too anointed, feel them touch me too fiery, feel them rush me, the Bible on me diary, it instruct me, who want me back it is, God Almighty, Satan is a liar, him can't trick me, God answer prayer, him uplift me, the almighty power, he convict me, them can't devour. You see the enemy there, oh from afar. See them a plan and them a scheme, they start a war. But if them think say me they are alone, Father God the angel encamp around me to protect them own. See them there, see them there. Me see them, but time me nah give them. Them soul a feed the devil, so me no want be them. Me a love up on me God and keep all him commandment. Him a me future, me present forever and me end. Hey, from your here God, you have to flee. No haters can dwell around me. The Lord is my shepherd, Psalm 23. Psalm 68 say, me see the enemy there.
All right. So as this song winds down, let me leave you with a little something to carry into your week. Tonight, we honored the women who carried the culture, the matriarchs, the rebels, the mystics, the foundation. And if you take nothing else from this episode, take this. A woman who knows her worth, a woman who knows her voice, a woman who knows her power. She is a whole movement by herself. She walks into walk into your week like Rita building legacy, like Saw kicking down doors, like Amoy floating above the noise, like Tasha T holding the whole community together with grace. And if anybody steps to you sideways, just smile sweetly, tilt your head, and remember, man is the least. The enemy them a come, but you are not alone, and don't let anybody drag you off your path. Thank you for vibing with me tonight, breathing with me, and holding this space tonight. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Angie Goodaz, and this is the Big and Serious Podcast. Music, trouble, conversation, and a Likkle Trouble every time. Yeah, man. See you next week.